Hi everyone, after the Spyro 2's no power-up challenge, obviously I had to do this challenge in Spyro 3. Initially I was going to do a no power-up challenge, and I promised that I'll do it next, famous last words I know. But when I started trying to not use power-ups, I just didn't want to do any of the minigames in Sunny Villa, which was the level I was playing, so I thought that it would be a fun challenge to see if I didn't even need to go in a challenge portal. Yes, apparently it's called a challenge portal. I used to just call it a portal as opposed to the world portal, but the more you know. So, can we complete Spyro 3 without using the challenge portals? Let's find out. So the rules for the run are pretty much the same from the last run, except I added one new rule. I cannot go into the challenge portals. Obviously I won't go into the portals the entire challenge, as that is what it's based on. Guest characters are allowed. I know that technically they enter challenge portals when Spyro kindly gives them sparks, but I don't walk through it, and as far as I know there is no way to avoid rescuing Bentley, Sergeant Bird and Sheila in their specific levels and side missions. I hope that doesn't immediately disqualify the runs. I also won't be using guest characters portals in other worlds, only their specific worlds. No speedways or sparks levels. Those are just easy eggs to get and we want a challenge. And lastly, I must beat the sorceress. With that out of the way, let's start the run. I'll say this now, homeworlds are going to be your favorite levels. You can get all the eggs in the homeworlds, which is a blessing, and they are 100% necessary to have due to the insane egg count to progress through this game. Your second favorite type of levels will be the guest character levels, so you'll only play their specific worlds. What I mean is that we won't be going to do Sheila's level in Sunny Villa or any other world, since technically Spyro will have to enter the portal. This is the only time we will get to see guest characters, since we have to enter a challenge portal in other worlds to actually play as them. So we can get all 3 out of 3 eggs in Sheila's out. Since I was just talking about Sunny Villa, I might as well talk about the level. It's not as bad as later levels. It could be better, but it could also be worse. In a word, this level is aight. We are able to get 3 out of 6 eggs in this level. Luckily for all the levels of the game, we can get an egg for simply completing the level, so that helps out a lot. Cloud Spires is another level that is aight. We get 3 out of 6 eggs. Once again, it could be worse. For Molten Crater and Seashell Shore, we are only able to get 2 eggs in both levels each. This is pretty much how the levels will go from now on. At least we don't have to pay money bags. Yes, he and Mr. Krabs go and steal money from each other. In 2 levels with a total of 12 eggs, we only get 4. However, we don't have the time to cry over that. We can take our rage out on Buzz and take an egg from him to make ourselves feel better. Midday Gardens and Sergeant Bird's base are the only 2 levels in the next few worlds that we will get all the eggs for. Spoiler alert, but that's a total of 8 eggs, so we are getting closer to the 100 that we will need to face the sorceress at the end of the game. After playing this game for so many times, you sort of wish the egg requirement was lower. Not specifically for the challenge run, but just so you don't have to do some of the challenges. For Enchanted Towers, technically this challenge portal is a portal to right here, so this hurts the most since I can't use it and it is literally character swap. Also, we can't rescue the lost wolf or go skateboarding with Hunter, since we can't enter the challenge portals, so we are back to 2 eggs per level. You can get 1 of these bones, but Sergeant Bird is needed for the rest. Now, we have Icy Peak and Spooky Swamp, so don't worry as our luck is about to change, since we can now get 3 out of 6 eggs for both Spooky Swamp and Icy Peak. This in Spooky Swamp is so insulting, literally half of the eggs for the levels. I should mention that you'll probably have to play Icy Peak first before you can enter Spooky Swamp, because our egg count will be barely enough to enter Spooky Swamp, but it's enough. So that's 6 out of 12 eggs for both levels. Things are looking good for us now. We are turning this disaster of a run around. We can collect 2 whole eggs in Bamboo Terrace by just gliding to them. We get 1 for finishing the level and 1 last one for rubbing the Blue Man group. Speaking of robbing people, go and rob Spike of his dragon egg right now. He doesn't deserve it. So we are finally in the third homeworld. So first things first, get all the eggs in Evening Lake and free Bentley so you can get all the eggs in this level. Another 8 easy eggs. We are doing so good right now, making all the dragons in the intro cutscene happy. Frozen Altars is not that bad. We can actually get 3 out of 6 eggs in this level, so it's aight. Okay, I'll stop saying that. It's not cool. I did find this gem that just floats right above Spyro's head. Whatever could it mean? Fireworks Factory and Lost Fleet are terrible levels. You can't even go to Fireworks Factory yet, so go there after visiting all available worlds in Evening Lake, as you're going to need the eggs. We have gone from aight to shite. Once again, only 2 eggs for each level, bringing our total eggs to be 4 out of 12 eggs. And this is why I keep mentioning the egg count. We have done everything in the game that we can do without entering a challenge portal, and it's still not enough. We need a total of 58 eggs to enter Charmed Ridge, but we only have 55 eggs. Just looking at the guidebook, there is absolutely nothing else that Spyro can do to get the eggs without entering a challenge portal, so the run is mission failed. So this is a mission failed. What I'm about to do now is something that I will always be ashamed of. Like I can't even look at myself in the mirror anymore. Remember how I said that Speedways and Sparks' levels weren't allowed? Well, they are allowed now, since technically Spyro doesn't enter a challenge portal to start the challenge for Speedways and Sparks' levels. And we are out of egg collection options. I decided to go ahead and just collect those eggs. I hope that this is acceptable, guys. Usually I try not to use the Speedways since they are just free eggs, but in this case, I had to make an exception. I know, guys, I feel such shame right now. Again, there are no other eggs that I can get without entering a challenge portal. So I ended up getting all the eggs in Mushroom Speedway, 2 eggs in Country Speedway, and 2 eggs in Sparks' shooting levels. Also, after I completed Charmed Ridge, I got 2 eggs in Honey Speedway. Trust me, we will need it. As for Charmed Ridge itself, the level isn't too bad. We get 3 eggs. The Scorch boss is so amazed at what we've accomplished in the run so far that he decides to help us and gives us an additional egg. As for Midnight Mountain and Agent 9's lab, you guys know the drill. Take all the eggs like your life depends on it. We don't even care, just take the eggs. We are having a lot of omelets later. We need the protein. So that'll be 8 out of 8 eggs. For Desert Ruins and Haunted Tombs, our luck is actually turning around. We were able to acquire 3 eggs each. As usual, I hate this slide. It's somewhat hard, but I just hate losing lives every time we fall off the slide. I lost like 7 lives just trying to get 1 egg. All in all, not bad. I was expecting 2 out of 6 instead of 3. My expectations were low after the Charmed Ridge fiasco. But then I went to Crystal Islands and boy were my expectations shattered. Like I wasn't expecting this. We got 4 eggs, guys. I even managed to kill this random plane without Spyro's sheer attack force. Anyways, it felt like so long since we got 4 eggs. I had hopes that we could actually get all the eggs though. But then I went down to Dino Mines. I was able to get 3 eggs and that was just enough to open up the portal for Harbor Speedway, where I then proceeded to get 2 eggs. So after doing all the speedways in Sparks' levels, we are now at 92 eggs. The reason I don't do all the races and get the 3 eggs is because the run is now officially a mission failed. We can't do the Sparks' level for Midnight Mountain until we beat the Sorceress. And we can't beat the Sorceress until we have 100 eggs. Even if I were to go back and do all the races and get those 3 elusive eggs that I don't have in the guidebook, that would only bring the total egg count to 95. So we will still need 5 eggs and there is nowhere to get them. So there you have it. It is not possible to beat Spyro 3 without entering challenge portals. With 95 eggs, you will have to enter a minimum of 3 challenge portals to beat the game. The most you can get from any of the challenge portals is 2, so you'll have to do 3 portals. There is also an argument to be made that every time I use a guest character, the run is failed. Sound off in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and remember guys, if you want to spice up your life, watch TV upside down. Don't play it without entering challenge portals in Spyro 3 because that is impossible. As for the next video, we'll find out if it's possible to complete Spyro 3 without power-ups. I legitimately don't know, but considering that this is Spyro 3 and not Spyro 2, I'm going to guess that it's not possible. Thank you for watching, and until next time, guys.